I shall call Siddiqa's group first, so we can start with them. Thank you.
Well-being problem. We have talked about several topics, including education, employment, social security, and also health care. And when everything is talked, we decided that the two most pressing points should be social security and also the health care. One thing is that the Chinese community, and we pursue other communities as well, is expressing increasing crime rate. Well, especially for the remote communities, penny thief and even burglaries happens all the time, and they just feel very unsafe. As for this, they don't feel like that they can do too much, so they have to look up to the government, the council, to help them, maybe to hire more policemen, and also to install security cameras in the so-called hotspots where most likely a crime is to be committed by someone. So another thing about the healthcare problem, many of them also find that the service on the whole is slow and ineffective. Some of them may have to wait a few months, even half a year, to visit a doctor. On the other hand, there are many good doctors and nurses, healthcare professionals from China and likewise from India and other big countries. They are well-trained medical professionals. They should have, well, if they're able to, they would be able to do their profession, continue their profession here and just provide service to people who need them. But unfortunately, because of very strict restrictions regarding the registry for them to practice here, most of them are unable to continue their profession. So we expect that maybe the council can do something, maybe to provide some facility, training and program to help them to continue their old job here, so as to help solve this problem.
Our housing, we talked about we touched many areas, which housing is just touching so many areas, transport included. So, but to be brief about what we say, we saw that our land doesn't grow, but our people grow. So in consideration of that character, we saw that we need good planning, we need community, sustainability, intensification, and using the resources as wisely so we can achieve good housing to everyone, not only ethnic people, but also all our country.
The other things that our group came up with was about showing the wealth of the region through equity, through private-public partnerships in the affordable housing area, by helping access loans, by helping secure buildings for example, for Remy's area, which is refugee housing, a council role in the acquiring the land, I guess, and building the council housing. Also through the national government, through Kiwi Bank, to actually offer private-public partnership mortgages through Kiwi Bank to give them a point of difference from all of the overseas-owned banks. And we're all more alike than we are different, so to kind of look at a cohesive policy.
So the main 2 points from our group were that schools can really become community hubs and perhaps provide English classes after school for parents, and that would be a way that schools can make contact and communities can connect. Also about the English classes, that people felt strongly that there should be a minimum of 20 weeks English classes for new migrants. The second point was that there's needed a space for ethnic communities to perform and exhibit. So there's not really a big enough space for ethnic artists to perform and exhibit, and also they don't know about funding that's available.
Also, there's one more thing was added, that we need to have an ethnic museum Scientific museum. We have got a museum here, but a museum where all the activities can display their own things like that. Thank you very much.
Social and well-being, and 2 points were using our school as hubs. Number 1, for the new arrivals to learn English. Number 2, children, language, heritage, personal development. Developing ethnic young people's organization. Number 2, the little things count. Having classes, booklets, May visits. Sharing understanding about New Zealand and the rules. And these things makes the biggest difference. And that's our 2 points. I like to thank you everyone. And one of the things I like to say for myself, if you want to change, be a change yourself.
We were talking about infrastructure within Auckland and what changes we can put in place to make it better. And the 2 points we came up were, okay, the first point we came up was, coordination.
To elaborate on that, I'm Nirantala. The coordination in council, we found it is really bad, and it is important the council has a team for coordination with authority. That means they don't have to have the bureaucrats business in there. Instead, that they could talk to a person like Vector or any other companies that they will overlook before they start changing a road or building a road, that they could say, okay, Victor, we want you to tell us where you want your, lines to be put in, so that all that can be put in once and for all before building the road and designing the road. And because this is one of the worst things in New Zealand community we found in the business, that they have complained about it.
The one big policy.
Our second point, which we consider very crucial, is the interconnection between different types of transport within Auckland.
And this we found again, Mayor's vision on a train is very good, but we also like it to be possibly the substations to be underground, so that the train itself, if it can be underground, it is good because that makes a huge space available for other things. But what we want is also the train to be linked properly so that it is going around whole of Auckland, just not only Auckland City CBD. And also to have bus system, shorter bus, but systems that goes around each suburb properly, so that people don't have to walk from long distance for a bus and then they become lazy and they use the car. Instead, if you have the bus system in such a way that it is linked together, that can loop it, come back into train. And we would ask the mayor, please employ people from Korea or in Mumbai who knows the system, how it works.
The economic development of this area. Migrants, actually, one of the key things for any development of any city, and if you look at the US is a big example, their biggest contribution has been because of the migrants that have come to that country. If you look at Auckland, as the mayor's vision is for becoming the melting point here down in the Pacific, we need to take advantage of what the migrants bring to this country. And that's what we believe is, one is from a council point of view, needs to have a center for an education to the private, to the public, about what skills, experience, and the culture that these migrants can bring in terms of financially enhancing the value of Auckland. So that's the key part of it. And I believe the council should be really running it as a center of excellence and hub, giving that confidence to the larger private and public establishments, saying that we can deliver the economic growth that we are looking for. So that's one thing we're looking at. The second one is the skill center hub, because obviously, if you look at the policies of most of the countries, they look at every city has got a skill center hub. You want to come to Auckland for what? What do you want to come there for? Just because there are a million other people living here. That's not what the vision is. Or just because there are other migrants from my country, they sit in Auckland, so I need to go to Auckland. That's what not the vision is for. It is actually looking at saying this is a center of excellence for biotechnology, it's a center of excellence for ICT, or it's a center of excellence for food and beverage. Whatever you want to create it has to be a policy decision that comes in from the council itself to say, we want to have a stamp on Auckland. Auckland means X, Auckland means Y. That's what we need to bring it in. And that's what we can look at it from there. Bring in the mentors and a buddy system, because it's very important that those who have, this is all not about those who are going to come in now, but for the last 20, 25 odd years, the migrant population has come in here and there's a lot of skill sets available within them. We need to utilize and use them as mentors and buddies to really bring in and get those skills in. Those are our